Cleveland, Ohio, year 1888. Fate signed nicely on Francis Drury, for one day a man walked into his hardware store and showed him a stove which he had made from sheet metal and used kerosene as its fuel. Keep in mind, during this period in our history, all were cooking on wood stoves. Francis knew he had something, but needed help with the funding of a factory to build his perfection stoves. Who might he talk to? He had a good friend, Susan Cole. Susan was very sharp when it came to business, so knowing that Francis was working on an invention, the lamp stove, she introduced Francis to her husband, Henry Parsons Kroll, who had several irons in the fire already, one being Quaker Oats. So they sat down to discuss if such an item would even sell. Soon a patent was applied for, and Cleveland Foundry Company began producing and selling the stoves. The Perfection Stove Company was now in business. Now all they needed was fuel for their stoves. This is where John D. Rockefeller enters the picture. Francis, knowing that John was already selling kerosene for homes and businesses for the lamps, he approached John about kerosene for his stove. John, being the businessman that he is, opened the customer base for Francis. Knowing the more stoves that Francis sold, the more kerosene he would sell, and it happened as planned. The Perfection line was very important to the growth of American civilization. By 1918, there was well over 5 million heaters being used in America. And in 1922, over 3 million Perfection kitchen stoves and ranges were being used. We have Francis and his friends to thank for his invention that led to the Coleman stove and eventually the propane grill. I want to thank you for joining me on a historical look into the past.